Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. All right, day 20. It's a Saturday. I almost forgot about the show today. That means I didn't. I'm not saying I forgot about you. I was in a zone. I was fishing, celebrating.
This is for the people.
Anyway, here's our announcer for today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, Magic Johnson.
Hello, I'm Magic Johnson, Hall of Famer, and this is a Hall of Famer Money Man.
Hall of Famer Money Man. Thanks, Magic. All right, Irvin. Good to see you, buddy. All right, everybody. Here's what we're doing. Day 20. Oh, by the way, speaking of Hall of Fame basketball players, shout out to my friend, Tamika Catchings. Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame announced today. Very happy for her. She's a wonderful person. So anyway, not the Catch, I don't think you're watching the show right now. But if you are, what's up? Tell your mom I said hello. All right, hey, here's what we're doing. Day 20. Recession-proof your finances in 30 days. Man, we made it 20 days, so that's good. This whole disaster started more or less 20 days ago, maybe a little bit longer from a financial perspective, but we've got a long ways to go. I don't want to make you sad and give you predictions on what I think, how many days we're lasting here, but it's going to be a while. So hopefully what you learn in the next 10 days, including today, will help prepare you. Now, we're going to be here for you no matter what, all the time, even after the recession is over. And remember, this is what we're trying to do during this 30 days. We're trying to show you how to cut $500 a month off your spending, press reset on your finances, and to stop guessing. You know, if I had to guess what today's topic was in relation to these three main objectives of the show, I'd probably say it's stop guessing. Because most people, sorry, I'm adjusting. You know what's really strange? I've mentioned this to you before. At the end of every day, I do so many things like this and interviews and whatnot. I have no voice, and this chair I'm in is no good. So my butt hurts. So I'm in a profession that involves having no voice at the end of every day and having a sore bottom. What do I do for a living? Anyway, stop guessing is the category we're really hitting today, because when it comes to employee benefits, people just guess that they're okay. They don't know what they have. We live in the employee benefits world. Your Money Line, one of my organizations, of which I'm the CEO, is an employee benefits company. So what we do is, as an employee benefit, we answer financial questions and solve financial problems. We're a benefit, right? So that is to say, you don't have to be covered from your organization by Your Money Line to get help from us. You can go to callheymoney.com, talk to one of our geniuses, and they will help walk you through all of this. If you just lost your job, if you still have a job, we'd be glad to help you. Use the offer code of CHEESE for $17.99 a month, I think, something like that. $17 a month, in that range. We'll be glad to help you. And there's no commitments. It's month to month. Do what you want. We figured out how to price it so we can help you. All right, day 20, we're digging into benefits, employee benefits. I mean, the benefits are for the employees, but the employer gives them to you. But they're called employee benefits, not employer benefits. It's been a long week. Okay, so what I want to do today, pretty brief episode. I want to talk you through what to think about if you haven't lost your job, what to think about if you have lost your job, and everything in between as it relates to these four specific benefits. These are the four most popular, not necessarily in that order, but maybe. If your company's not big enough, you may not get health insurance through them. My organization does not have over 50 employees, so we do not have mandated health coverage. We figure out a different way to deal with it, though. But for a lot of people, this is what is at risk if you lose your job. It's also important to point out right now, if you got furloughed, in the last few weeks, one of the reasons your organization chose to furlough you instead of lay you off is so you could keep your benefits. That's tough. I mean, because that means they're going to continue to eat those costs, which is fine, but they did it for you. We have some clients that have been put in that position, and we're still able to help those people who are currently furloughed with the financial challenges they are facing, which we think is great. If you are currently furloughed and you have a benefit like Your Money Line or a financial wellness benefit of some sort, by all means, call those people and have them help you put together a plan. It's really important to do. But let's go ahead and go through talk about what is lost, how it matters, and what to think about. Okay, first, retirement. We talk about on this show a lot how we shouldn't confuse the market and the economy. They are related, but they're not the same thing. And right now, if you've lost your retirement benefits at work, you kind of don't care. It's not like you lost, access to that account. You gain more access to that account, oddly enough. And despite the fact that your, value of your account may have gone down, nothing is necessarily lost until you sell it. I would say this though, when you leave a job, not furloughed, but when you get laid off and you don't think you're going back there, consider making a smart move with that retirement account. That doesn't mean sell it. That doesn't mean, change your allocation. What it means is taking control of it, knowing where it's at. Maybe even call the 1-800 number on your statement. If you don't know anything about your retirement plan, still try to get in contact with your human resources department at the job you just left. Ideally, your retirement is not greatly affected by this layoff. I know that sounds crazy. How can your retirement not be affected by the fact that you have no income? But that should be a blip. We talk about how in the big scheme of things, what is happening this year won't just be a blip. It'll be a bump, a pretty big bump. But for most people, from a retirement perspective, if they're in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, if you lost your job in the last couple of weeks and you're going to be unemployed for the next couple of months, 'tis a blip from a retirement perspective, which is really, really good. So if you currently are working right now, what you need to understand about your retirement account is that your employer in the next year is likely to decrease the employer match. So the match is when you put a certain amount in, then your employer's like, good job, Jimmy. And then they put some in on your behalf. And in fact, what they do is they try to incentivize you to put more in by making it slightly difficult to get their full match. That's actually a cool thing for them to do. It feels like it makes you jump through hoops, but it does, but in a good way. So they incentivize you to save more. My feeling is that you're going to see some matches come down. Maybe your employer matches 6%, 100% of the first 6%, which means if you put in 6%, they'll put in 6%. You may see that fall to 3% next year. You may see it fall sooner than that. And that's okay, because to me, that means they're trying to save jobs. And I would much rather you have a job than an extra 3% towards your retirement account this year. Oftentimes, as the economy recovers, those retirement account contributions, those matches will recover too. Do not decrease your retirement account contribution right now if you don't have to. If you've got income and employment stability and you've got an emergency fund, by God, please do not decrease your retirement contributions right now. In fact, if you can stomach it from a cash flow perspective, increase it. On a regular basis, we like to see people between 12 to 15% of total gross income going towards a retirement plan. So that means if you're putting in 9% yourself, your employer's putting in 3% match, that's 12%. We like to see between 12 to 15%. If you're in your 20s, 12 to 15% is ideal. If you're in your 30s and you were not putting in 12 to 15% when you're in your 20s, it needs to be higher than that, and you can see the way that goes. If you're 49 years old right now and you're watching this and you've never had 12 to 15% of your income going into your retirement account, well, today's an interesting day because that's the day you learned that that's what you should have done, and you got to get to work. Now, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about this on a completely different day. But we did a big program, I don't know, a year or two ago for USA Today. It was for people who are 50 years old and broke. How can you have a successful retirement by the time you get to retirement age when you're 50 years old and broke? And I guess the good news is this: it's very possible. It's very possible. It takes a lot of intentional work, but it's very possible. Maybe we'll hit on that. We got 10 days left to talk about things, so maybe we'll hit that one day. Do not liquidate your retirement if you don't have to. If you're low on funds and you just lost your job and you're thinking, well, I'll just sell my 401k and get that money and live on it, don't necessarily do that. You're going to take a penalty. Potentially, there is a hardship withdrawals because of COVID-19. But I would still rather you not do that. Look for other methods. as opposed to robbing from your future. And I know that seems insensitive because it doesn't feel like there's a current present. Why should you care about the future? But please try to avoid that. It also occurred to me today as I was setting this up on Facebook Live, because that's where we do it. I feel like my graphics are cut off today. I guess we'll see after the event. I did nothing different. It's that FB, man, shutting me down. Next up, health insurance. Okay, this isn't good. Typically, when you lose your job in the form of a layoff, you've got some options. You can adopt COBRA, which means you get to get coverage for 18 months by the nature that you lost your job. It's very good coverage, but it's the most expensive thing on the planet. You might as well just go buy a new car every day. I mean, it can be like $1,800 a month that you have to deal with. And if you just lost your job, where's the money coming to pay for that? Exactly. The other thing that typically you can do when you lose your job is you can go to the Affordable Care Act at healthcare.gov and you can get coverage through the marketplace. Losing your job is a qualifying event. It's important to understand, though, in the last week, there was a lot of confusion around this because at first, the Trump administration said they did not want people to be able to sign up right now at healthcare.gov for whatever reason. I don't know. Well, primarily because the Trump administration wants to replace the Affordable Care Act, right? And so they don't want to start putting a bunch of new people on it because that would create an issue. But as you can imagine, that's a weird timing situation because people are losing the jobs, they need healthcare coverage. But as of yesterday, it was finally clarified, that was Friday, it was clarified that if you lost your job due to the COVID-19 situation and the recession that is following it, you can go to the Affordable Care Act and you can go to healthcare.gov and you can get coverage. Okay, that's good. There's a problem though. Unless you're getting unemployment, which you should be. If you got laid off, it is likely you have unemployment. Healthcare can be super expensive. Like, you know this already. You did not just learn anything in the last 10 seconds of our time together. But it can be prohibitively expensive. So much so that you're almost choosing between, are we paying our mortgage or are we getting healthcare? I highly recommend you make healthcare a priority. Okay? Despite the fact that we're told, some expenses for COVID-19, if you happen to be afflicted with it, won't cost anything. To go during this period of time without health insurance is a big risk. Make healthcare a priority. Make coverage a priority. This is not a period in your life in which you want to wing it and just hope you don't get sick. You got to do what you got to do financially, but I would try to make sure you don't have a gap in health insurance. People losing their jobs, one thing, right? And it's it's awful. They can get unemployment coverage, though, to cover all of their lost income. But it's the lost access and coverage of health insurance, which might be the scariest part. This is not reassuring for me to tell you this, but it's still important for you to know. So try to prioritize it the best you can. Life insurance and disability are sort of in the same category. They're really important coverages to have. Disability insurance might be the most underutilized coverage, not utilized in the sense that you have a claim, but people don't buy it as much as they should. You're much more likely to be disabled during your working career than you are to die during your working career. Yet people value life insurance more than disability insurance. If you were to become disabled and be unable to work again, disability coverage is what protects you. But if you're not working right now, it is likely whatever disability coverage you have with your employer is gone unless there's what's called a conversion privilege. That means you're able to convert it to private coverage. It was group coverage, and what you're saying is, okay, it was group coverage. Now let's convert it so I can own it myself. It's not terribly expensive, disability insurance, nor is life insurance. Life insurance is something that you don't ever want to have a gap in. You always want to have life insurance because no matter how much you're struggling right now, that situation gets markedly worse for your family if you pass away without life insurance. Not the greatest topic in the world, but it's true. If you can and you feel like you're going to be laid off for a while, make sure you have life insurance. That doesn't mean you're going out to buy new life insurance necessarily, but try to convert whatever you had through your employer. It's a very important thing to do. Look, told you it was not a fun topic today. Benefits are such an important part of our lives, and we always take them for granted. Living in that world, people don't know what they have, and they sometimes don't care. But it's time like this that you have to know and you have to care. You have to stop guessing. So if you have specific questions around your benefits, whether you're still working or you currently are laid off, go to callheymoney.com. You can talk to someone from our team there. They can walk you through it. All right. Tomorrow, we're going to get back after it again. And then we've just got 10 days left on Recession-Proof Your Finances in 30 days. It's going to constantly change till the last day. There's so much new news coming in every day. You just never know what we're going to have to cover. We may do, though, thinking about it, maybe late next week, Thursday or Friday, we'll do starting over at 50. Why? Well, even if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're watching this, you definitely know someone. You definitely know someone that is struggling in their 50s. Doug says, give a t-shirt shout out. Oh, okay. You guys want to see what my t-shirt is today? This is the 2rule.org. I'm on the board of directors for this organization. Live gratefully, give generously. Here's the theory. And this is true before what we're going through and right now. The goal was to give 5% of your income to some nonprofit. Doesn't matter which one, whatever interests you. Things I care about the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I have a scholarship at my high school that I fund for first generation college students. We care about organizations like that, right? So 5% of your income and to give 40 hours a year to your community. Those are the 2 rules, right? Well, the 2 rules are live gratefully and give generously, but the 2 rules that you commit to are giving 5% of your income and 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 40 hours a year of volunteer hours to your community. You can go to 2rule.org and sign up and make that commitment. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't pay anything to 2rule.org. We're just trying to inspire people to think differently about the community. So Doug, thanks for the reminder there. It's also a comfortable shirt. I mean, I'm on the board, but the shirt's really comfortable. Okay, everybody. We'll see you. And hey, if you lost your job this week, if you filed for unemployment, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't fail. This is not a moment will not define you. Okay. You've got a lot of people around supporting you. It's going to be okay. We're going to rebuild. Talk to your friends about how you feel. Don't keep it in. If you just lost your job, whether it's the first time you lost your job or the 5th time you've lost your job, don't keep it inside. Talk about it freely. Try to normalize it so it doesn't feel so taboo and eat you up on the inside. Keep your head high. Okay, we're going to rebuild. People aren't forgetting about you. Stimulus checks are hopefully on the way for you. Unemployment benefits too. If you're jammed up beyond that, let me know. I will do my best to point you in the right direction to get you some assistance. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone have a good time tonight. Go be with your family. Bye.